Adieu to Belshanny, William Allingham. Adieu to Belshanny, where I was bred and born. Go where I may, I'll think of you, as sure as night and morn. The kindly spot, the friendly town, where everyone is known, and not a face in all the place but partly seems my own. There's not a house or window, there's not a field or hill, but, east or west, in foreign lands, I recollect them still. I leave my warm heart with you, though my back I'm forced to turn. Adieu to Belshanny, and the winding banks of Erne. No more on pleasant evenings we'll saunter down the mall, when the trout is rising to the fly, the salmon to the fall. The boat comes straining on her net, and heavily she creeps. Cast off, she feels the oars, and to her berth she sweeps. Now fore and aft keep hauling, and gathering up the clew, till a silver wave of salmon rolls in among the crew. Then they may sit, with pipes alit, and many a joke and yarn. Adieu to Belshanny, and the winding banks of Erne. The music of the waterfall, the mirror of the tide, when all the green-hilled harbour is full from side to side, from Port Nessun to Bouillabons, and round the Abbey Bay, from rocky Innis Samer to cool Narget sand hills grey, while far upon the southern line, to guard it like a wall, the Leitrim mountains clothed in blue gaze calmly over all, and watch the ship sail up or down, the red flag at her stern. Adieu to these, adieu to all the winding banks of Erne. Farewell to you, Kildani lads, and them that pull on oar, a lug sail set, or haul a net, from the point to Mulligmore. From Killybegs to Boldslive League, that ocean mountain steep, 600 yards in air aloft, 600 in the deep, from Doran to the ferry bridge, and round by Tullen strand, level and long, and white with waves, where gull and curlew stand. Head out to sea when on your lee the breakers you discern. Adieu to all the billowy coast, and winding banks o' fern. Farewell, Quo Olmore, Bundaran, and your summer crowds that run from inland homes to sea with joy. Atlantic setting sun, to breathe the buoyant salted air, and sport among the waves, to gather shells on sandy beach, and tent the gloomy caves, to watch the flowing, ebbing tide, the boats, the crabs, the fish, young men and maids to meet and smile, and form a tender wish. The sick and old in search of health, for all things have their turn, and I must quit my native shore, and the winding banks of Erne. Farewell to every white cascade from the harbour to Belleek, and every pool where fins may rest, an ivy-shaded creek. The sloping fields, the lofty rocks, where ash and holly grow, the one split yew tree gazing on the curving flood below. The lough, that wends through islands under Tara Mountain green, and Castle Caldwell's stretching woods, with tranquil bays between, and breezy hill, and many a point among the heath and fern. For I must say adieu to the winding banks of Erne. The thrush will call through camelling groves the livelong summer day. The waters run by mossy cliff, and banks with wild flowers gay. The girls will bring the work and sing beneath a twisted thorn, or stray with sweethearts down the path among growing corn. Along the riverside they go, where I have often been. Oh, never shall I see again the days that I have seen. 1,000 chances are to one I never may return. Adieu to Belshanny, and the winding banks of Erne. Adieu to evening dances, when merry neighbors meet, and the fiddle says to boys and girls, Ampersand quo. Get up, shake your feet. Ampersand quo. To Shonacus and wise old talk of errands gone by, who trenched the wrath on such a hill, and where the bones may lie of saint, or king, or warrior chief. With tales of fairy power, and tender ditties sweetly sung to pass the twilight hour. The mournful song of exile is now for me to learn. Adieu, my dear companions on the winding banks of Erne. Now measure from the commons down to each end of the Pert, round the Abbey, Moy, and thither. I wish no one any hurt. The Main Street, Back Street, College Lane, the Mall, and Port Nessun, if any foes of mine are there, I pardon every one. I hope that man and womankind will do the same by me. For my heart is sore and heavy at voyaging the sea. My loving friends I'll bear in mind, and often fondly turn to think of Belshanny, and the winding banks of Erne. If ever I'm a moneyed man, I mean, please God, to cast my golden anchor in the place where youthful years were past. Though heads that now are black and brown must meanwhile gather gray, new faces rise by every hearth, and old ones drop away, yet dearer still that Irish hill than all the world beside. It's home, sweet home, where'er I roam, through lands and waters wide. And if the Lord allows me, I surely will return to my native Belshanny, and the winding banks of Erne.